This is from Biafrans Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong with them, military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipob massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I got that day. Remember when me tell you say I got that day. Yeah, I remember that one that called us a prospero. But the way you cook like a papa nuku. But then the way you hero, me tell you what I look pandi, what pandi samiro. Me tell you what I day. For me the plan and the rest of man I tell you what I am. Me never give up. Me tell them
Fallen heroes, I want to promise you something today. We must fight together, no retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eye. For other Biafrans and for freedom had to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, forever be a part.
They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front, without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation. We bled in our history, that the death of our people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bummed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes, those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipob massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in our heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes of our fallen heroes.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them a motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for the freedom of unborn child. We live for the legacy.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Onitsha massacre, Ipob massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright. Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes.
the air. Never be afraid. March on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah, you know what it is. We must revenge, and we must stand to represent who we are.
Fight on, brave boys, fight on, heroes of our fatherland. Pursue the enemy, harass him, destroy the invader. March on, brave boys, now that victory is in sight. March on and hasten the disintegration of the enemy already set in motion.
Fighting a war, knowing the difficulties, the odds against us, there is an element of fatalism, people feeling, well, if the world chooses to abandon us, then perhaps it is better we all perish. They don't ever consider a Biafra not free. They believe in either Biafra free or no Biafra at all. That means none of us living to see it.
I need Biafra freedom. We Biafrans, we need Biafra freedom. For this, I decided, even to die, that Biafra must have its own freedom.
I want us to work systematically towards the establishment of a good, progressive, and democratic society where all vestiges of privilege and social injustice will be abolished, and the rich contribute more for the welfare of the poor. If civil war comes, and I do think it is imminent, you're quite right, it will for us be the price of freedom.
Don't be discouraged.
Our people here have for a long time been prepared for this eventuality, and I am confident of their readiness. I think that when it does come, that the people on the other side would be surprised as to what they're going to get. And I'm confident that it will not last long.
We'll surely come out as a nation because we're fighting a just cause. Even a little child on the street will tell you this. We shall never go back to Nigeria again. God's grace will surely emerge as a nation. And so, as far as this war continues, we'll fight to the last man.
This is what Biafra is, the end of the journey for a persecuted, massacred, pursued people. We have made all attempts at a democratic resolution of this crisis. I have offered open elections, plebiscite. I have offered just an open carte blanche suggestion, anybody who can find a democratic way of finding out the wishes of the people, let him suggest it and we will go for it.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 Adimebujuku. Another Savior.
Holy, holy.
If you do not believe in what we are doing, then you better get out. We're not going to stop. God knows we can never stop until Biafra is restored. We are peace-loving people. We abhor death and killing of another soul. It's in our nature, that's how we are. But because of that, they have been coming and killing us all these years. We've kept quiet. They've been killing and killing and killing quiet. We have a case at the ICC. We have a case at Africa Union. We have a case of what else again? Pending before the UN in New York. We've been to Geneva to tender our case. Before UN, till today, nothing. In fact, the more we complain to them, the more they come to abduct and rape our children, the more they come to kill us, the more they want to take over our land and our forests. And who told them that's going to be possible in our time? In a movement that I lead. You think you can come into our land and take it over? Oh dear.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very evening program. I appreciate everyone that have connected. As you join us, like and share the program on your platform. Share to family and friends. Share to those who are close to you. Reach out to anybody you can reach out to and tell them that it is time for us to share views on the restoration of the independent state of Biafra. So wherever you are watching this program, I urge you to like and share. Remember, today is Monday. Monday is a day that we come together to ask for the unconditional release of our Supreme Leader, MAZI, Nnamdi Kanu. It's a day we come together to tell the world that we are no longer part of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. It's a day we come together to tell the world that Nigeria have lost legitimacy. It's a day we remember our leaders that are in detention, MAZI, Nnamdi Kanu, and MAZI Simon Ekpa. It is a day we join them to lift off the flag of Biafra and make sure that Biafra is not forgotten. So wherever you are today, and you join the observing of the sit at home, I say, may Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect you. We must keep this memory alive, no matter what the enemies are doing, no matter what they say, no matter their propaganda and their blackmail. We must keep this memory alive. We must keep the memory alive. We must join our leaders to raise the flag of Biafra. And I bet you, I thank Chukwu Okike Abiyama that so many people, against all odds, against all the attack, all intimidation, they are still standing strong and joining to raise the flag of Biafra. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect every one of you. You're welcome, my beloved sister, Mercy Akere. Thank you so much for always being there for me and for the Biafran people. May Chukwu Okike Abiyama guide and protect you. So, everyone that is watching, as you join us, like and share. Those who are going to watch later, like and share. Remember, every evening we go to the Nigerian media. We bring things on media and on social media to show the world the other side of the Zoological Republic. To show that it is not only we talking, that everything that we say has a confirmation, has a backing, has reality in it. We are not just coming to make noise and shout and shout. No. We come here to say things the way they are. And this evening we have come. For a long time they continue to push that lie, oh, the sit at home has been enforced. Nobody is enforcing. It's something that people do willingly on their own. As many as are still doing it willingly on their own, may Chukwu Okike protect them. Those who Soludo have forced to come out against their wish, we know. It is only government of Nigeria that have been forcing people against their wish to make sure they discourage people from doing what they're supposed to do, to make sure that they stop people from respecting their genuine cause, to make sure that they demonize what we have been doing for many years. But wherever you are as a Biafran, you must know that this battle is our battle. You are not just doing it for MAZI Nnamdi Kanu or doing it for MAZI Simon Ekpa. You are doing it for yourself. Whatever you do today, you do for yourself. If you do good, you do yourself. If you do bad, you do yourself. That is why it is very important that we mind what we do. We need to be cautious of the steps we take. And take this contract as your own. Take this agitation as something that has to do with you. Don't think you are doing it for someone. If you continue to think that you are doing it for someone out there, you will continue to fail. You will continue to believe the wrong thing and you will continue to get into trouble. But when you take it as a responsibility that you are doing what you need to do to save your own life, I bet you at the end of the day, you will look back and you'll be glad you did what you did. I thank every one of you that is standing strong. Even in this time that temptations are everywhere. Discouragement is everywhere, right, left, and center. Don't get discouraged. Continue to be focused. Continue to do your own part. At the end of the day, I will see also. I will see also a go mile. So today we are going to go into the media to share some important information. There is one video I'm about to play of the leader of NAS who went to visit MAZI Nnamdi in Sokoto, and he left a message for the Biafran people. I would like every one of us to listen to that message because it is very, very touching and very important. It is not a message that needs to be overlooked. It is a message we need to pay attention to. And that is why I am bringing the message for us to pay attention and listen to what he has to say. After the encounter of this man with MAZI Nnamdi, he has never remained the same, and he has continued to advocate for the unconditional release of MAZI Nnamdi, and he is going to visit MAZI Nnamdi in Sokoto, and he left this message. I want you to pay attention to this message. Listen to every single word he has for us, Biafrans, the lovers of truth, lovers of freedom, everyone that cares about humanity. Pay attention.
To all the courageous Igbo youths across the world. Today, the 14th of June 2026, I have stopped to pass the night in Kanu State on my way to Sokoto to visit MAZI Nnamdi. I want to appeal to all the youths because you are the courageous ones that I know and that I believe in the Southeast. The elders, majority of them, have betrayed the cause, but you have remained very courageous. Now, assuming without consenting that MAZI Nnamdi Kanu did all the things that he has been accused of, all the things he has been accused of, worse than that, Igboho did. Worse than that, Sheikh Executive of Zaria did. But the two personalities are today being honored and are living like great men while MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is in Sokoto prison. Let's leave these two personalities. The bandits have just killed a retired general, a general in the Nigerian army. They are being pampered, they are being paid, they are being respected and honored. But because MAZI Nnamdi Kanu said that my people are not being treated fairly, and if you don't want us to be part of this country, we will leave. What is bad about that? I don't see anything bad about that. Do not allow them, disgrace them whenever they come to the Southeast to campaign. How do you disgrace them? Don't come out. This I want to appeal to you passionately because what is happening to MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is very bad. He should not be left in Sokoto prison. And let me tell you this. If you allow MAZI Nnamdi Kanu to continue to languish in prison and vote for Ahmed Bola Tinubu, after the election, he will come after the remaining elders who still have conscience. The few ones who have conscience among the elders will be dealt with severely, and it also will be completely eroded. That is the game plan. If it's not a game plan, why is it that Sheikh Zaki Igboho are all being honored? Why is MAZI Nnamdi Kanu left in prison? I appeal to you passionately. I feel pain seriously because I have met and discussed with MAZI Nnamdi Kanu and I know what it stands for. Please, disgrace APC whenever they come for campaigns. Don't come out at all. That is how to deal with them, and don't vote for them until Nnamdi Kanu is released and is compensated. Thank you very much.
This is a passionate message from somebody who is not a Biafran. Somebody who is not a Biafran is spending his money, taking a flight to Sokoto to go and meet Nnamdi Kanu. This man met Nnamdi Kanu in DSS. And Nnamdi Kanu made known his stance to him. And just as he said, all Nnamdi Kanu is asking is that we should be treated right. And we should be allowed to decide our fate. And because of that, he's being jailed. Just like he said, people that did something that is worse than what Nnamdi Kanu just did are there. Nnamdi Kanu was not seen with a gun. Nobody came and said that Nnamdi Kanu sent him to kill anybody, but they are putting him in jail. Sunday Bowo, guns were found in his house. Arms were found in his house. We saw him actively going after the Fulanese. We saw him on several occasions where he was involved in the action. But in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, all he was trying to educate the people. Guns were not found. Even when they invaded his house, not even a penknife was found. Which the DSS themselves confessed that nothing was found in him except his phone and his singlet. But yet, he got a life sentence. And Igbo is walking free. The El Zazaki he mentioned has armed groups who has actively did so many things and worked, and they are free. There are so many other people. Which one are you going to mention? Gumi is walking around everywhere. Nobody dare call his name or mention him or talk of arresting him. But Nnamdi Kanu is not in jail. And all those that call themselves politicians and leaders in Biafra land are gallivanting from one place to another, preparing for election. And tomorrow they will come in your area and campaign, and you will vote. Tomorrow they will come out for election, and some of you idiotically will go and vote. Already some of you are joining the city boys and whatever nonsense you are projecting. You think it's about Nnamdi Kanu, right? Don't worry. After Nnamdi Kanu, you will be the next person. After Nnamdi Kanu, you are going to be the next person. And then I will see who will come and speak on your behalf. Wherever you are. The earlier you rise up and do the right thing, the better. The earlier you rise and do the right. Look at the people they are calling a bandit. They kidnapped a major general, and the major general died in their hand. And still yet, Nigeria is going for, Nigeria is busy as if nothing happened. A major general kidnapped, videoed, and sent out. Not only him and his wife were kidnapped. They videoed it and sent it out, and Nigeria did not get outraged. But they get angry when Biafrans protect themselves from the terrorists that they sent to our land. They get angry. That is the standard Nigeria is operating. And I would like to show you their shame. You will see their shame in their own media. You will see it. You will join me to watch. Their media will provide their shame for you to understand the level of madness and idiocy in this Zoological Republic. A country that will never survive. A general was murdered in cold blood. Tomorrow they will tell you to go and join me.
The death of General Rabi Abubakar is a shock, isn't it? And many Nigerians will wonder because the man is not just an ordinary citizen, but a former defense spokesperson who understood the security system. If someone of that profile could be kidnapped and die in captivity, should Nigerians conclude that nobody is truly safe anymore in this country?
I mean, you are right, Sheun. The death of General Rabi in captivity was a big shocker. It is something that sent shock waves across Nigeria, and I can tell you, even Nigeria's friends outside the country were shocked to see the gruesome way in which the retired Major General died. It tells us three major things. Number one, if a retired military general who was the chief spokesperson of the Nigerian army would be abducted and kept in captivity for about 2 weeks and be killed in that way, then it tells us that no Nigerian is safe. It tells us that rank and institutional history counts for nothing in the insecurity situation that we have found ourselves. Secondly, it also speaks to how bold, how audacious these criminal gangs have become. They didn't abduct him in a remote forest. They abducted him on a public highway in Matazu local government. They didn't hide him when they abducted him. They paraded him to all of us on TV, on social media, and they made demands to the government. They were negotiating publicly, saying this is what we want. And they are telling the government, these are our members you have arrested, and we want you to release them before we are going to release this military general. Now it tells you how audacious, how bold they have become. Number three, the whole modus operandi of terrorist organizations like the bandits we see in northwestern Nigeria is to terrorize the public and erode public confidence in the government. And this abduction of the general is a strategically symbolic abduction that will naturally send shockwaves and also erode public confidence. And like you said, then it will make all Nigerians to question if or whether they are safe. But the fact that we know the group that abducted him, it was the group of Kachanda Muhammadu. The security forces know the local government areas, the areas where they are operating in Katsina State, and the fact that they were unable to track him and save him, or at least engage the abductors before he was killed in the way he died, tells us that our insecurity is escalating, showing it used to be a sub-regional thing, it used to be a geopolitical thing only in the northeast, it spread to the northwest, to the north central, and now to the southwest, and you can see that clearly Nigeria's security threat is now a national threat rather than a regional or sub-regional threat.
You can imagine a major general murdered in cold blood in Nigeria. And the funniest thing is that after they murdered him, they were very quick to go and get his corpse. The same people who could not rescue this man for more than 2 weeks, how did they get so quick to get his corpse after he's dead? And they began to report, shamelessly begin to report that he had diabetes, that he died of heart attack. This is what the government is reporting. The military is reporting. Very shameful. Very, very shameful. And the family have already come out to say that the man has no diabetes. He has never had any diabetes. The son say he had no diabetes. And the son is actually demanding and asking them, how did they find his body? Where did they find his body? This is a man you could not be able to reach. Since the terrorists arrested him, kidnapped him, they released a video, you could not be able to trace or get him. All of a sudden, that when he's dead, you were able to go and get his corpse. When he died, you were able to go and get his corpse. A major general, former military spokesman killed like a chicken in Nigeria. Look at the man saying that the government knows the group that took him, they know where they are, they know where they operate, and yet they could not be able to rescue him. And some of you, they are there planning for election. Some of you are still hoping that Nigeria is going to do you well. Sorry. Every one of you will face you, including those your politicians that are deceiving you. It is going to get to their doorstep. Everyone is going to take their own share in this calamity that is coming. I will continue to bring their shame from their own. Look at them reporting it from channel. They report it. And they shamelessly report it. And that is how it ends. So,
okay, so lastly, I just want to ask you this. Security agencies often, they say they are overstretched and under resourced. And earlier you talked about state police and some other things. And this current administration, they talked about state police and the forest guard. So do you think to some extent the forest guard will do better? Do you think they will perform well? Or do you think state police is actually going to help? Or do you think we need a complete restructuring, a complete overhaul.
This is another madness. Something that the military cannot do. They think that their forest guard is the one that's going to do it. Terrorists that they are military that have the whole arms and ammunition, including armor tanks, cannot face. You want to use forest guard that are using pump action to go and secure people. When we say Nigeria is a joke, all it takes is for you to pay attention to what comes out of their mouth in their own media. You will realize why Nigeria is a scam and a joke. That is when I hear that the United States is collaborating with Nigeria, I laugh. Look at the man laughing. He has not answered. I'm going to open him for him to respond to this nonsensical question. Creating state police, he created they say they created a forest guard. Every day, forest guard, 1,000, 1 million forest guard. Is it this forest guard that is going to do the work that the military could not be able to do? The military that its own duty is to protect the territorial integrity of the country. To go to war and fight against any invader. They couldn't do it. It is forest guard that will do it for you. What a joke. But this is what the zoo has become. And that is why we put this one is coming from Vanguard, one of the idiotic stations that puts their propaganda blackmail. Look at the kind of things they are saying. Hear this man give his opinion.
Security sector.
The security sector, you sack them, you bring in another one, the situation is not improving. That is the problem. And that's why I say we should adopt another strategy. Forest guard mentioned, but who are they? They are environmentalists. They are not trained to recover that.
Oh.
Remember what they are. Forest guard. They are environmentalists. Their constitutional duties is not to fight terrorism and not that. They are to protect wild animals from poachers and I don't go against deforestation, etc., etc. That shows that something is going wrong and the government is in desperate need. That's why they are trying to combat people that are environmentalists to go into combat. In that case, they need training. You can't just recruit somebody to just forest guard and give him a dead gun and think he can go and confront a man with AK-47. But we as it is, that effort is commendable. But they need to collaborate with the police. They need to work in tandem with the leading intelligence organization, the DSS. They need to work with them. They need to collaborate with military in terms of information gathering and intelligence sharing. Anything outside that it will still be disaster because training is very, very important.
Immediately you speak about collaboration with the DAS, with the military, and the forest guard. You have already destroyed what you have built. The same military that is infiltrated with Boko Haram members. The same military that Boko Haram will give order to vacate their point where before they take action. The same military that you want to share information with them. That is automatically the end of whatever your forest guard is going to do. So it boils out the same thing. When we say Nigeria is irredeemable, the proofs to show that it's irredeemable is everywhere. After this man have talked all the bullshit and jargon he has said, showing that forest guard, their duty is not to go and fight terrorists. The military that owns that duty cannot be able to do it. Now you want the forest guard to go and now do it and now bring information and share with them. The same military that have refused to do their job. The same NSA, is it the same NSA that is giving information to the terrorists, equipping the terrorists, sponsoring the terrorists? Is it the same person that you're going to give information on how you want to go and attack the terrorists? And the funniest thing, they're not even accept that. They say they are bandits. They call them bandits. They say that they are their brothers. They are prodigal sons. Is it the people, they are brothers you want to go and give information to? Every day you listen to them, you see the unseriousness in Nigeria, that every one of them, citizens and otherwise, they are all helpless. They have remained senseless and empty brains. When they talk, you begin to wonder, is it not the same information you have that they have? Or are they living in denial? Or are they living in another planet? It is sad. But every day we play their video, it is to show you the madness and idiocy in that contraption.
I said you have what happened in Kwara State, where some of them were disarmed by the bandit. Because you can't approach a man with taking for himself with a proper shot. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. So, not just creating a state police or forest guard, the government must, as a matter of urgency, equip them with the same ammunition the bandits are using. What makes bandits more sophisticated because they are using AK-47. So if our forest guard are using AK-47, I think, and they're training, I think they will do better than those people that are voting us to stay. The idea of state police are for it. The idea of recruiting the forest guard are for it, but they need an autonomous from any political interference. To recruit the former retired police officers, retired military army officers, retired DSS with their experience and give them the needed equipment, they will do magic. But not that every politician will come and hijack and you also go and recruit a thief to you.
And you know that these things you are talking, Omoteku have tried it didn't work. They could not even allow Omoteku to bear arms. A former retired general that was put in Omoteku to guard explained by himself how they sabotage him when he decided to recruit retired military men, retired policemen to join him in Omoteku. They sabotage him. Everything you come here to talk have been tried and it never worked. That is why the zoo is a joke. And I'm not just saying it because they have been tried. People that tried it, I have played their video here in their interview. How it was tried and it never worked. And you're still coming here to say the same thing, to push us in the same direction. Big time wasting.
You will see as an opportunity to provide opportunity and information to bandits and they will be saboteur. So the technicality in it is that men with experience who understand what intelligence, what security is, should be allowed to handle that when I speak about autonomous and lack of political interference. Get men that have retired. We have so many retired military officers at home. We have so many retired police officers at home. Give them the autonomous and necessary funding and see the magic happen.
You know that what you are talking about is impossible. You know. And yet you push that.
The criminal will go there and take advantage of it. As it stands today, you may even meet a bandit in the market. You don't know who you see because they don't have a uniform. So going into it, you must know who are those people that are eligible, capable, who have the morality to be a member of forest guard, who have the morality to be a member of the state police, not a notorious thief who will use the uniform to take advantage of it. Provided that you give him intelligence today, you go and sell it to the bandits. That will be the saboteur. So I have for it. But in as much as that, there must be criteria and conditions that we should follow and we should encourage that.
All these things are just waste of effort, waste of noise, waste of time. Because you know that everything you have said here will never work, can never work, and nobody is going to listen to it. It has been applied so many times, and the same people sabotaged it. And you keep on suggesting. It's only in Nigeria you see people, they will sit in the studio and provide solution to a problem. But when it comes to practical, they disappear. You won't see them. You will never see them. Nigeria is busy. Where they play their role very, very well, without missing one, is in reintegrating the Boko Haram in the midst of the death of their military men, top officers. Why Boko Haram continue to take the life of top officers, including beheading them? They are still busy reintegrating them. They are still busy celebrating them. They are busy sending them to different countries, all in the name of re-radicalizing of terrorists, only in Nigeria. And some of you believe that Nigeria is going to be better. Sorry.
These are the repentant Boko Haram members swearing by the Quran that they have completely dissociated themselves with any form of religious extremism and wrong ideological belief.
We told them to abide by the terms and conditions of the Quran. That is.
You see, when you say you told them to abide by terms and conditions of the Quran, I don't understand what you mean. Is it not the same Quran we know, or there is another one? The same Quran that gave them the charge on what to do against the infidel and those who did not believe have the same faith with them. You are telling them, you are just directing them back to where they are coming from. You are directing them back to where they are coming from. All the time you continue to pretend about the truth and speak lies and all, and it will seem as if all of us are dumb. We are not dumb. We are not. We are not. That is why the zoological republic is irredeemable. Separation is the only solution. Allow them to create their caliphate. That is the only thing they want. And that is, without a caliphate, you cannot have peace. Let them create it in their own area. Let there be separation. Every region be on their own. Without that, there will be no peace. There will never, ever be any peace. While you are busy complaining about the beheading of soldiers, the death of a major general, and the constant kidnapping that is happening, the federal government is busy freeing the terrorists and advertising them on their national TV. This is
go back to any form of violence, not to support the enemy and to support the armed forces in the ongoing counterinsurgency operation.
They should go back to their community, live with community there, work together, and they should not isolate themselves or form any group.
Traditional leaders, heads of paramilitary organizations, and academicians advised the youths to consider their reintegration as a second chance to become useful members of the society, calling on the society generally to continue supporting them by showing understanding, compassion, and acceptance. There were testimonies by some of the former Boko Haram members, especially the adverse effect of insurgency on peace, security, and cohesion.
See how robust, strong, and fresh they are looking. Meanwhile, the people that they have murdered their brothers and sisters, they have driven from their home, are still in the IDP camp. The people they drove from their home are still in the IDP camp, but look at them, how they're looking fresh. They are looking very fresh and robust. But the people they have driven from their homes are still living in the IDP camp with 1 square meal daily. And some of you still come and believe that the miracle will happen. And the only thing for you to do is to think of a way to protect yourself. If it is these politicians, they will have politicians who are busy trying to put themselves in and steal more money for them and their own family. They don't care about it. This is what the politicians care about. Listen to this video I'm about to play. You will see what the politicians are doing and what they care about. They don't care about your defense or your protection. They don't care about it. It is about themselves. Listen.
Myself inclusive. The second is my response is to the former chief financial controller of NNPC, whose tenure is investigation covers, who pointedly said to the committee that it's you people. And now I know that the Senate president said his daughter was taken by military and put in the, where as Nigerians will say, in the juicy position.
Did you hear that?
That's probably the big end. And so the senator, in a generalized manner, said, and you senators, bring your children. And I said, but you guys have turned an NBC to a traditional institution where the son inherits the throne of the father. They, past leaders of NNPC, they all have employed their children, their uncle, their cousins, their in-laws into various aspects of NNPC and put them in different positions. If they carry out the payroll of NNPC, you will find that they've almost done the top level of the family business.
That is what the politicians are busy doing.
Frankly speaking,
You think they care about you?
are the children of senators not Nigerians? You can only make an issue if you give them a job they are not qualified for. And you didn't follow the right procedure. But somebody told me that the Senate president was taken without, not through a regular interview, not through the normal. But that is his own problem. That is not the reason I will be there and somebody will accuse me As a society now, if I then reacted in the manner that I didn't say the Senate says you are a thief. I didn't say the Senate says the the NPC is a house of thieves. So how can the Senate disown what they did say? That is not their resolution. I spoke as a person. And if somebody think I have injured this reputation, there are legal means. This same Senate president is on record, and those records are everywhere, where he advised us or remind us that when the committee sits, like the minister is sitting, the chairman exercises the power of the Senate president. We have the right to issue bench warrant. And the good news I will forward to you is that somebody who has read this thing, many people who have commented, have somehow, I don't know how they have this record, of all the people who have been, with the Senate had issued bench warrant from time to time, previous Senate, based on the express provision of the 1999 Constitution as amended, of which the Senate President can decline to exercise his powers. It will be up to him, but he cannot pronounce that what is in the Constitution is irrelevant, nor can he lecture any senator about procedures. And I told him this. So now, you asked me a question whether I thought it was appropriate to issue bench warrant. Yes.
You just heard him. For them, they are busy pursuing wealth for their families, promote their families, putting their families in NNPC. And you think they are there to protect you. They don't care about you. They don't care about how you feel. They don't care if you live or you die. They don't give a damn. The earlier you begin to think of how to protect yourself, the better. That is the best thing you can do for yourself. Think of how to protect yourself. If you don't, by the time you realize it, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late when you realize what is going on. That is why it is important that wherever you are today, you must begin to think. Think and think fast how you are going to protect yourself, how you are going to defend your own life. Because nobody is going to defend you. Nobody is going to defend you anywhere. Not today, not tomorrow, not anytime soon. Nobody's going to defend you. You are the one that is going to fight for yourself, defend yourself, and make sure you are not manipulated. If you refuse to defend yourself, it is going to be bad for you. Definitely, it is going to be very, very bad for you. So I urge you in the name of Chukwu Okabiam to continue to plan for how you're going to defend yourself. Any way, any manner, any angle, any tactics you can use to defend yourself. Try as much as possible to do that, and don't hesitate. If you don't, you are going to live to regret it. So I want you to listen to this program. Let's hear more from their media, how they expose themselves on the evil that they themselves are supporting.
Let's see what you're talking about right now. We've been tracking conversations on X, Facebook, our YouTube live feed, and of course, Leke. And 3 stories are dominating your timelines this morning. And number 1, across Nigeria, retired Major General Rabi Abubakar dies in captivity weeks after his abduction in Katsina. A funeral has already been conducted, and Nigerians are asking, how was his body recovered from the terrorist enclave within 24 hours? We have a special report. Trending at number 2, a deeply disturbing video from Umpape, Abuja. A woman rescued after being chained inside a room by her own brother. For 4 years, she was found emaciated and severely neglected. And Nigerians are asking how this kind of abuse went unnoticed for so long, And trending at number 3, Anambra State confirms the arrest of Pastor Harrison Charles, accused of luring 75 married women away from their husbands with 11 babies found in his home, claimed as his own. Wonders shall never end. Now, here is where you come in. Join the conversation. Use the hashtag What's Trending with OGOP. Comment on our live feed and Leke. Tell me, which of these stories matters most to you? Because for the next hour, we're going into everything that has Nigeria and the rest of the world buzzing. But first, Nigerians stripped out en masse in the nation's capital, Abuja, and the nation's commercial capital, Lagos, over the weekend, demanding the release of abducted pupils in Oyo and Borno, and an end to insecurity, hunger, and hardship. The protests in Lagos were led by Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, and in Abuja by activist Very Dark Man. Here's a recap of what unfolded.
Nigerians are beginning to wake up, their consciousness is beginning to, awaken, and they are realizing that the most potent tool as oppressed people, the most potent tool we have is peaceful protest on the streets. This is what our government of the day fears the most. They fear the unity of the oppressed on the street. And it's good that our people are beginning to realize that this is the way out to hold these guys accountable and hold them responsible.
All of us are not one way. And we demand the release of those children and their teacher. As you're all aware, teacher has been beheaded in order to compel the government to Muslim to have those children released.
Tinubu is a public servant. He is not a lord. He is not the owner of Nigeria. Nigeria was here before him, and Nigeria will continue being here before him. If he doesn't resign honorably, we are going to resign him through voting. We are not scared of tear gas. We are not scared of bullets. We are not scared of anything that will come.
Tinubu must go. He must sleep forever in Nigeria. Nigeria is for the people. Officer, Nigeria is for you.
Two cities, one message, but very different tones. In Abuja, Very Dark Man challenged security operatives directly, questioning why the firepower used against protesters isn't deployed against kidnappers instead, while the crowd carried placards reading "Security is right, not a privilege." In Lagos, Femi Falana took a more measured approach, highlighting that children in Oyo and Borno have been in captivity for weeks and linking insecurity to injustice and hunger across the country. But what both protests share is this: Nigerians are demanding that the government treat their safety as a right and not a privilege, and that protection be shown to ordinary citizens with the same urgency shown to the powerful. Rufai, good morning. How are you this morning? Good morning, President. I call you that now. And you know why. How are you doing? I saw you on This Day Live. You were fantastic. Good morning, favorite Niger wife. How are you this morning? Very well. Fantastic. You see, Nigerians are out there demanding that their rights be protected, that their children in captivity be brought back safely. And you know, the Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, is sparking fierce reactions online, warning that recent protest calls on social media could be hijacked, leading to deaths or injuries. He acknowledged the right to protest, but reminded Nigerians of the sacrifices soldiers make, even while being insulted by the same people they protect. Let's take a look.
I've seen of recent a lot of social media giants going around trying to raise protests. Nobody is stopping anyone from protesting. But we should always remember the unintended consequences, because you do that, these things might be hijacked and people might be injured or killed. We are making efforts to see that we provide avenues for some of these media experts to be embedded with our troops when they are going on operation in the northeast, in the northwest, in the north central, so that they have a feel of what the troops go through and the challenges ahead. Maybe they will have a better understanding. Because when someone is sacrificing so much, missing his family, not having sleep and all this, and yet is being insulted, demoralized by the same people he's protecting. For every human being, you know that is not easy. So I want to appeal to Nigeria and appreciate all Nigerians for their understanding and for their support. But we need more, because we can't do it alone.
The reactions online have been mixed. Some agree with Musa, pointing out that protests can indeed turn violent and that soldiers' sacrifices deserve more respect. Others feel the timing of this statement, right after a nationwide protest over insecurity, sends the wrong message. Either way, both protests and the protection matter, protection especially. And Nigeria needs both its citizens' voices, its soldiers' services to be valued. Your thoughts?
So I watched his presentation, that was at the platform on June 12, and I thought, he's now no longer a service chief, he's now the Minister of Defense, so it's a political position as well. He said the right things. However, I think it would be unfair to say that the media hasn't supported the military. Let's not get things twisted. A lot of the protest is not against the military. A lot of it is against the government and the government's inability, whether through political will, which we have seen oftentimes, to address the problem. Oftentimes, we've come on this table and every time the military record a success, we praise, we celebrate it. We celebrate it and we will continue to do so. How many times have you talked about the conditions of service or of the welfare of the military? How many times have you complained about their food ration, their allowances per day? What we do on a daily basis, as it were, is to promote the interest of the military. So I don't want us to get that twisted. It is critical.
Right.
We often praise the fact that many times they have to pay the ultimate sacrifice. In fact, the reason why we speak to ask for accountability from the government is so that the military can be better funded, better looked after, because they serve Nigerian people, the Nigerian people very well. We talk about the deaths that have occurred in the military, and we say it with so much sadness that these gallant soldiers had to lose their lives in this manner because of a lack of political will. And the reason why I say it's a lack of political will, going back to the protests, like Mr. Femi Falana said, hunger. Who is responsible for the hunger in the land? Is it the military? It's the government. We're asking the government, and I think every Nigerian by now should memorize Section 14, Section 2B of the Constitution 99 as amended. The security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government, not the military. So let's not mix the two. We are supporting the military in their efforts. In fact, we think they don't have enough to fight this, and against all odds are going out there to do it. But we're asking the people who have the power to allocate more resources. We're asking the people who have the power to not be negotiating with these terrorists, the people who have the power to talk tough against these terrorists and stop asking for surrender at this point, to do what they need to do. That's what we are calling for. Right. So protest well within their rights. The government that the people elected for, not the military, is whom the people are asking accountability from. So I think we should clear that line. But what we still continue to demand for is protection, preservation of every single Nigerian life.
Thank you, Ayo, for your submission. Now we take a step back from the headlines to ask the questions Nigeria deserves answers too. On May 30th, retired Major General Rabi Abubakar, former Director of Defense Information, was abducted alongside his wife in Matazau, Katsina State. Days later, a video surfaced of the couple appealing for help. And now, the news no one wanted to hear. General Abubakar is dead. 3 institutions have spoken. The Katsina State government says he died of natural causes, complications from diabetes and hypertension. Defense headquarters confirmed his death, describing him as a distinguished officer. And from the presidency, Bayo Ononuga relayed President Tinubu's condolences and used the moment to reaffirm a hard line, declaring that the government will never negotiate with terrorists and that the window of surrender first announced on Democracy Day has now closed. Now 3 statements, 1 death, and a funeral already conducted. May his soul rest in peace. But this morning, Daily Trust has reported that the general's family is pushing back on the statement issued by the Katsina State government. The general's son, Isiaka Rabi, and daughter, Ada Abubakar, dispute the claim that their father died of diabetes, insisting that he had no such history. So here is what remains unanswered. Who is telling the truth? How was General Abubakar's body recovered from a terrorist enclave and buried within 24 hours? Who recovered it? And what was exchanged? General Abubakar's story is not the only one. 3 generals have now died in the hands of terrorists in November 2025. Brigadier General Musa Uba was ambushed by ISWAP in Damboa, Borno State, separated from his troops and used his own WhatsApp to beg for rescue. 3 days later, ISWAP released photos confirming his execution. In April, Brigadier General Hosseini Brahima was killed alongside 17 soldiers when ISWAP stormed 3 military formations in Benshek, Borno State. Now 3 generals, 3 different ends. One question: if officers of this rank can be captured, killed, and lost, what protection does an ordinary Nigerian have? Now a resurfaced clip of General Abubakar from his days as Director of Defense Information is now going viral, where he spoke about military efforts to rescue Boko Haram hostages, including the Chibok girls, promising operations that prioritize the safety of captives.
We are on course. Recently, we have rescued a lot of civilians from the terrorists, and I believe you must have read it on paper. Even last week alone, we rescued how many? About 300 children and women. And as long as we rescue this kind of thing, this kind of group of people, I will want to believe that rescuing children is on site. Only that, we have to be extremely cautious. We have to be extremely careful, and we are planning towards making a rescue that will be not just threat to them, but rescue them with their unharmed and with their life.
Today, that very principle of careful intelligence-led rescue is the principle Nigerians say was never applied to save him. The irony has not been lost on social media, and tributes keep pouring in. Nigeria owes General Abubakar and his family the truth. Rufai, I want to come to you on this story because you have seen what I have put together. We had a clip of the general talking about intelligence-led rescue for the Chibok girls. And this one general that was the spokesman for the military has just died in a way that he actually was, not advocating for. They've talked about the presidency saying that the government will not negotiate with terrorists. How did General Abubakar's body resurface from the terrorist enclave just 24 hours after he was killed?
Your thoughts? Or after he died? The Katsina State government is saying he died, of natural causes. The family is saying, no, our father did not have any history of diabetes.
Oji, I'm sad to admit to you today that Nigeria is a failing country. I don't want to use the word a failed state because I have modicum of hope, but it's a failing country, and I'll tell you why. I just have to check to be properly sure. Katsina State has something called Coroner's Law. By Coroner's Law enactment, General Rabi's body ought not have been buried. Because if a body had died of unnatural causes, the coroner has a right to be able to start up an inquest and talk about having an autopsy. So General Rabi had already, the circumstance was unnatural because you see Nigeria is a failing country. I'm stopping short of saying it's a failed state because this Katsina State government came to say that he died of natural causes. How can you die from natural causes when you were abducted in an unnatural way? The trauma of the abduction alone can kill the general, and that's not a natural cause in the first place. It's a nation where things are broken down to a tremendous level of failure. That something like that will happen. That a state will come out and give out a position on the matter that they've never carried out an autopsy about. It's still shocking. And they're so quick to go bury when they are coroner's right. So the Katsina State government, let me make you laugh, violated its own laws. Because if you have a natural cause and there's a coroner that should come in, what you should expect in a society that is not failed, what you should expect is that the Katsina State government will bring in the coroner and say, do your work. But because we have a society that is already it's a cesspool of I don't know what to call it, the government quickly said, oh, we should go ahead and bury him. While he was being buried, you have all the top dignitaries come there. The same dignitaries that couldn't force themselves to save the general when he was alive. They came there to do parade, fashion parade, over a general's body that we can't even see if he was ready with bullets or not. This is a man that has given over 35 years of his life to serve the country. And they think that once they bury, he will move on so quickly and on to the next one. I'm sure the next thing they will do now is they will tell his kids, why are you speaking up? And in the name of condolence visit, they will say, oh, let's try to shut them down. Because you see, it is only a nation again that things have really scattered that doesn't take accountability for actions. And Oji, the thing I'll tell you is when will the next general die? Yes. All right. No, the question is when will, you see, Oji, I was here, I cried, I muttered, I said all sorts when General Uba died in the circumstances. I said all sorts when General Seni died. Now it's General Rabi. Because you see, you had a case where the government could have saved the situation. The general was there with them for a while. We didn't see any major rescue efforts. And he finally died. They mismanaged the communications as regards this death by saying he has diabetes and the kids are not saying, no, it's not a case of diabetes. And they've quickly buried. Coroner has not come in. We have moved on so quickly. And you expect us to have faith and confidence when President Tinubu says it is time that the time they're giving the terrorists has elapsed. And in the same vein, Oji, just days ago, the governor of Borno State makes a case for 720 criminals, terrorists, that are being reintegrated into the society. So, Justice Crack can easily be picked up, beaten in custody, treated in all sorts of ways. But the perpetrators that kill people can quickly be reintegrated into society without any trial. Because the case now has been forgotten. While people like Justice Crack agitating and say the military, it should be treated better. is currently still going to court for his case.
All right. These are just one story that's just coming on the burial and just to raise
On the funeral,
sir. They say that he was later to be buried on Sunday at 10 a.m., but the Katsina state government insisted that it would happen on Saturday. Why?
Those are the questions.
These are
so many questions. And I believe General Abubakar Rabe's family deserve the truth. More on insecurity. There's been another devastating attack from Zamfara State over the weekend. Suspected terrorists stormed the district in Maradun local government area of the state, killing no fewer than 19 farmers and injuring several others. Bello Husseini, the councillor representing Faru Magami Ward, confirmed to Arise News that the attackers arrived in large numbers on motorcycles, opening sporadic fire on farmers across the farmlands, killing 18 on the spot, with one more victim later dying in hospital, bringing the toll to 19. Efforts to get Zamfara police to confirm this latest attack were unsuccessful, by 19 farmers killed on their own farmlands in a state already reeling from the abduction of 50 elders just days ago. Zamfara is bleeding, and Zamfara police have yet to even confirm this latest attack. How many more must die before real protection arrives? May their souls rest in peace. And from Zamfara to Borno State, where security analyst Zagazola Makama is clarifying that ISWAP did not attack an active school or abduct any students in Chibok local government area. The security expert says the actual target was a hunters patrol base set up inside a long-abandoned primary school. Hunters initially repelled the terrorist attack and withdrew after running low on ammunition before troops from the 117th Task Force Battalion forced the terrorists to retreat. One civilian and one CJTF member were wounded, but no students were present or abducted. I mean, this is good to hear, but at the end of the day, it was still an attack on, hunters. It could have been a school. And, in better security news, before I come to you, Bin Bag, Operation Hidden Kai also foiled a separate terrorist infiltration attempt at the theater training school in Buniyadi, local government area of Borno State, neutralizing the threat and recovering 2 terrorist corpses and a motorcycle in Damboa. Troops also arrested logistics suppliers, including a 23-year-old Adams Shetima, who confessed to supplying logistics and intelligence to Boko Haram insurgents. Look at this, a 23-year-old is engaging. I mean, we've seen these young people, they're young and they're, engaging in these heinous crime. And we've also seen that, in Borno State, there was this reintegration process that happened over the weekend, which has really angered a lot of Nigerians online as well. Your thoughts?
Yes, I think the optics around Operation Safe Corridor are not what we need right now, especially because we continue to hear that the terrorists will feel the wrath, that they will be dealt with decisively and so forth. And then just not up to 24 hours after such a declaration from the president in his Democracy Day address, we see that, yes, these repentant terrorists may have been in the pipeline prior to that. But I'm now speaking in terms of optics. What does it look like? Ayo made the most incredible point this morning when she said, well, what are the consequences? So if we don't see negative consequences in our space, then what's the outcome? The outcome is that the action will be repeated and it will continue to repeat. In just these few minutes, Oji, we've spoken about Borno, Katsina, Zamfara, and there was it the 3 states? And exactly. But you look at the number of states, and it's no longer secluded to one area of the country. It's now widespread. And I continue to say, kudos to the forces that you can see that they're engaged in repelling attacks. That's what these reports indicate, is that they're not sitting idly, but more needs to be done. You see that they're now attacking hunters, which goes to show you that this is now going beyond the level of, if we call it kinetic military engagement or whatever it is, that these terrorists are now intimidated by even hunters and forest guards and so forth. So the solution to this is, for now, we've said that we think state police is the way forward.
Yes.
Why are we on holiday? Why are we not fast tracking that? Let's try it. Let's get it done speedily and let's implement and let's try it. Because we can't be discussing it forever. It needs to be solution focused.
Yeah, speaking about security, and of course your mention of state police is quite apt, Irvin Bad. You know, and the Inspector General of Police, Tunji Disu, is making a bold pledge, vowing that every student and teacher abducted in Orile, local government area of Oyo State, will be brought back safely and unharmed. Disu made the promise while meeting the Crime Correspondent Association of Nigeria, declaring the force will not rest until everyone is rescued. Let's take a look.
It's an active operation. I wish to assure that our families and Nigerians that the full operational capacity of the force, in coordination with sister agencies, has committed to securing their return safely. We are making progress and will not rest until all the hostages are brought home safely. In the same allotted address, I wish to commend.
Now, the Crime Association there say the IGP's assurance has brought renewed hope to families in Oyo, Borno, and across Nigeria. But online, the message is clear. It has now been 1 month, and Nigerians no longer want statements. They want action. Now to Ethiopia, where Nigerian inmates in Abasamu prison in Addis Ababa celebrated over the weekend following the signing of a bilateral prisoner transfer agreement between Nigeria and Ethiopia. Eligible inmates can now finish their sentences here in Nigeria. Foreign Affairs Minister Bianca Ojukwu called the atmosphere exciting and one of renewed hope. Let's take a look. That's one of your good songs, Rufai. All right. Well, you know, the inmates thanked President Tinubu for remembering Nigerians abroad. But online, many are asking, what conditions await them at home, given how overcrowded Nigeria's correctional facilities already are? Ayo.
Yeah, we can ask that question because, but let me just say, there's nowhere like home. There's no place like home, and so you can understand the excitement. And to be fair, we do not know, at least now, the conditions of their prison sentence in Ethiopia. I want to imagine that as long as you're a foreigner, you're not, as they say oftentimes, second-class citizen. So they are happy, they're excited. But Oji, there are a number of questions that have been raised since this has happened. Plenty questions. And I would dignify some, I would some. One of the things they're asking, of course, that very valid point to the comment you read out is that our correctional service, do we have the capacity to embrace some of these? We are overcrowded. We're complaining about how we don't even have space there. Maybe this is an opportunity for the government to fast track long cases that have been pending for so long so that we decongest the prisons. And then number two is that the category of crime that these people have committed is very peculiar. And people are asking that why this section or this type of crime, why is it that they're the ones that were rescued or brought back home to continue serving their sentence? But despite all these questions, I think the good news is that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been able to facilitate this repatriation of our criminals, and just to make it very clear that they are not being released. They will continue to serve their term in correctional service here in Nigeria. But I want to also use this opportunity to make a call, a case for the condition, and this goes to the Ministry of Interior, for the condition of our prisons in today's Nigeria. Let's make it a bit more dignifying so that it truly lives up to its name as a correctional service, not just a place where people are condemned and cannot do anything when they come out of
There was a question that someone asked online. I believe I saw that. It's a prisoner swap, right? I wonder how many Ethiopians left.
How many Nigerian prisoners do we have in there? Do we have numbers?
Question and answer. All right, we would like to see that as well. Well, and now to a terrifying story, shocking people online. A new video emerged over the weekend of a woman rescued after 4 years chained inside an Abuja home by her own brother over an alleged business dispute. A neighbor in Mbappe heard unusual sounds and alerted the community, who found her chained to the floor, severely emaciated. Your discretion is advised. Let's take a look.
You said 2 years you are here. 2 years. 2 years. Can you imagine?
No, wow.
What did they use the bathroom? Which bath? Which bath? Oga, which bath?
I think he bring the key out.
So many plenty kids there.
I was shocked when I saw this story. You know, she was rushed to the hospital, but the Abuja Police Command has yet to confirm the details. 4 years chained and only found because a neighbor heard something. What would have happened if no one had heard Zimbai? I mean, your thoughts, we've seen this sort of stories, but it's just, you know, I don't know what level of wickedness this guy. I can't believe that someone's brother. It's her brother, they said.
You know, it breaks my heart because we're here, you know, we're talking about criminality and insurgency, and we're talking about it in the forest. And but this is right here at home, in your home, to your own sibling. I can't understand it. I can't understand the level of, is it delusion? I don't know what to, because this man who committed this crime, he can't be a normal person who's in his right state of mind. 4 years. For her to still be alive, it means that they were probably giving her little rations or maybe just drops of water and just scraps to eat. Look at, how do you see a human being, let alone your sister, in that condition, and keep her chained? I hope that they've arraigned because I haven't seen a report of the arrest of the brother. I hope they've arrested the brother and he needs to face the full wrath of the law, because I simply cannot wrap my head around the cruelty that's shown in the story. It's ridiculous, unbelievable.
Anyway, I'm not surprised because that woman is a metaphor for where Nigerians are today. That woman is like Nigerians, and her brother is like our leaders, what they've done to us over the years. It's a metaphor. I'm more concerned, Audrey, about the brother and what will the law say. I just hope that the full wrath of the law takes effect. Because we have seen cases like this. It's not about the revelation, but it's how easily, again, it goes back to my analogy of failures in society. How easily cases like this are swept away. That's my fear.
Right. This must not be swept away. We, call on the Abuja Police Command to come out with a full statement on the investigations that follow. I hope that that girl gets, the sort of rehabilitation that she deserves. Now to politics. Nigeria Democratic Congress candidate Peter Obi is calling for the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, stating that there is no reason for him to be in detention. Peter Obi made these comments while speaking with the Nigerian community in Washington, D.C. Let's take a look.
And I want you to put on tape. I've said repeatedly that there's no reason for killing Nnamdi.
That's right.
As far as I'm concerned, there's no reason whatsoever. Now, you cannot arrest somebody because he was speaking on radio and calling people names. It doesn't make sense. So, for me, I said it that even our own agitators, if I'm in government today, I will discuss with them. I will engage, I will consult them. Because I believe that they have a reason for whatever they want to do. It's only by engaging them that we'll learn and see how we can solve it and everything.
All right, Rufai, I'd like for you to tackle this story. I mean, we're seeing, this is not the first time we're seeing Peter Obi advocate for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, but many are asking, why now again at this point? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, probably some will say politics period, some will say other things. But the question as regards Nnamdi Kanu is, at this point in time, a political solution was mooted before and it had failed. And the government said they wanted to go to court. They have gone to court. It is the court that has found him guilty and have incarcerated him. I don't know where his appeal is today, because I think they tried the chance of an appeal, and I think the Council of Nnamdi Kanu kept on saying that he was blocked and all of that. He has a right of appeal. The conversation is there going to be a political solution, or there is going to be facing the court process entirely? But you see, how we can say Nnamdi Kanu, the law has put him where he is today. The question we should ask is, what about terrorist sympathizers? Where are they? That are still roaming free. Those that advocate for terrorists. Those that advocate for the rights of terrorists. Why is that they never get called in? Or even when they get called in for conversation, they are released almost immediately. It is that imbalance I don't understand. We all know how the likes of Sheikh Gumi advocated for terrorists in this country. Nobody respects the rights of terrorists like a Sheikh Gumi.
All right. We've touched on this at length with the conversation of Nnamdi Kanu. I want to continue on politics. Now, in your state, in Ogun State, Dakpa Abiodun confidently promised that his state would deliver 95% of its votes to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027, with Dakpa Abiodun saying the president deserves a second term to continue the vast economic reforms he began in his first term. The governor made these comments on Friday during an All Progressives Congress meeting at the Presidential Lodge in Abeokuta, noting that the president's policies have helped reposition Nigeria's economy in a path towards sustainable growth and development. Vimbai, I want to come to you, because we've seen a lot of governors actually reiterate this point. In Edo State, it's 2 million votes. Yes. Now, in Ogun State, 95% of people from Ogun State will vote for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
We can all aspire to inspire to, we can all, it's political season. Yes. Now, of course, I think what makes this quite an interesting conversation is the fact that we're looking at the Southwest.
Right.
And we know that at the moment, the Southwest is arguably extremely divided, with a number of candidates potentially coming to share that vote with President Tinubu. Will that be the case in Ogun State? Well, Dapo Abiodun, outgoing governor, incoming, senatorial candidate, let me not say incoming, senatorial candidate, is making his commitment that Ogun State will be batified, as they say. I think that it's still very early for us to be able to determine what the permutations will look like. 95% of the vote is quite a substantial number, especially considering the fact that if you look at the Southwest as a whole, it didn't even give Tinubu his winning votes in the last election. They came from the Northwest. So as much as he's a Southwest president, it hasn't been his stronghold. It wasn't his stronghold in the last elections where the numbers are concerned. But it's political season. Everybody is there to make their commitment. They say they have the might of the state. Right. They are in power, so they should be able to mobilize whatever that means. And may the best contender win. But I think Ogun State is an APC state, so it will be remarkable to see.
And don't forget, it was in Ogun State that he made that famous quote, Emi Loko. Let's see what happens in 2027. Shall we not take the story that I've been dying to take an eye on? This is for you. Now to Anambra State, where Pastor Harrison Charles, founder of Dayspring Assembly in Awada, Onitsha, has been arrested over allegations that he lured 75 married women from their husbands to become his own wives. Special advisor to Governor Soludo, Ejimofo Okpara, confirmed the arrest, revealing Pastor Charles encouraged wife swapping and that 11 babies he claimed as his own were found in his home. Have you ever heard? I feel like I've seen so many stories. But Pastor Charles himself doesn't even know how many wives he has. That's the most disturbing part of the story. This comes amid Anambra's ongoing crackdown on fake pastors performing
fake miracles. And I told you about these fake pastors performing fake miracles. I believe Governor Soludo was quoted to have said that the bail condition for these pastors, these fake pastors that have been arrested, is heal the blind. So you have to heal the blind actually to you have to heal the blind to be free. But you know, it's your volume. This is a Dr. Matthew story, but I gave this to you because this is your constituent.
You know, I'm going to say that. Since Dr. Matthew is not here, the book of Matthew, chapter 7 verse 16 says, by their fruits you shall know them. So, there are many people who can claim I can claim to be a doctor, I can claim to be an engineer, I can come to work one day and say, you know what, from today, I want you to start calling me engineer Ayo Mairese. I want to come because nobody's there to check it. And so there are many people, charlatans, who go by the title pastor, get a group of people together whom they can brainwash and call them a congregation. And that's why I said last week that I don't really, with the Governor Soludo, I think I'll take this with a pinch of salt. But this is where CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, need to step in with regards to, so that we don't, the Christian body do not allow the government to do what it's supposed to do for themselves. Now, it's important to also mention that not all of these churches belong to, it's a voluntary membership. So not all of them belong to PFN and CAN and Christian Association of Nigeria. But when they see incidents like this, especially people who are bringing disrepute to the church in Nigeria, they ought to speak out. So they might not be members, but they will dissociate themselves from a particular ministry because they're saying these people are not doing anything that the Bible prescribes. Then I also blame society and this adulation, of leaders, not just spiritual leaders. We need to come to a point in Nigeria where people have the opportunity to stand up and speak up for themselves or speak up for their neighbor when they are being abused by people who ought to protect them. And so I'm glad that this man has been finally apprehended, but I think we need to do a lot more in protecting the interests of God's people, because God says in his word as well that he's going to hold leaders accountable for the sheep. Shepherds will account for the sheep. And so PFN and CAN and these groups cannot just keep quiet, even though they are not members. I think they also need to start pointing out the bad eggs and saying, this one we don't know. Paul I know, Peter I know, you, I have no clue who you are. So that people is like this caveat emptor. Approach with, by your own, with all the risks attached. I think it's important. But this man ought to answer for all his crimes and be brought to the book as the crimes. Still alleged.
But can I just say can I read one comment on X? Someone reacting to this story says, this is serious. So 75 married women as how many singles did he take? That's another question that they're asking. What was he doing with the women? It can never be ordinary. It really just seems like a strange story.
Calling them by their name and not adding pastor, because this behavior is not
pastor. Okay, so just remove the man has to remove pastor from this man's name.
Come out as this one is wanted to say something. It's not how pastors behave.
Yes. All right, good. All right. Do you want to say something?
No, see, the truth about this matter is, real quickly, Audrey.
He's not a pastor.
The fact is,
I'm not agreeing with you.
You can say, it's not a pastor, don't call them See, the man is a pastor. He has done this. It is because he's a pastor the women even came to him in the first place. What we should now ask, and what we have not tackled is, who calls themselves a pastor in this society? And what we should tackle is, how are pastors even made in this society? Can we get to a point where there's even a regulatory body?
Rwanda.
I know the Rwanda conversation, I don't want to have it because you say, let's not regulate religion. But you see, that was what, I think it was under Buhari they tried doing when they said leaders of churches should have a 10-year benchmark.
Yes, that's why I said that. Let them
at some point in time.
Issues.
So you can say it's not a pastor and everything. People still believe it's a pastor one way or the other. It is the societal perception. We should now work on. I think that's the cardinal point of this conversation.
All right, well said. Thank you all for your submission. Today, under milestones, we're celebrating the birthday of U.S. President Donald Trump, who turned 80 years old on Sunday, June 14th, marking the day with an Ultimate Fighting Championship on the White House lawn. The president celebrated alongside America's 50th birthday with the UFC event, making it the first professional sporting event held at the presidential residence. Happy birthday to the legendary president. What can we call it? 80 years old. It's not a joke. And I must say, he does look fit and he looks great. I mean, congratulations. Americans are celebrating with you. Now, let's take our good news report. Today, we're celebrating the New York Knicks on becoming NBA champions for the first time in over 50 years in a stunning Saturday night match that set New York and social media on fire. Videos on social media showed crowds celebrating the win in New York, with crowds taking over parts of Manhattan, including multiple blocks near Times Square. The win is also being seen as a special moment for Nigerians who are celebrating the Knicks forward OG Nnamdi, who was born in London to Nigerian parents. Throughout his run, he emerged as an essential anchor, especially in Game 4, which pushed him to the fore as a fan favorite for Nigerians in the diaspora. I must.
Let us go to the next video that I'm about to play and see what they have on that very section. Give you more update on what is happening and what has happened and the informations that are out there for you to pay attention to. Let's go.
Strategic Bakassi Peninsula from Nigeria and handed sailor to the Republic of Cameroon. Relations between both countries has been fraught with mutual suspicion and hostility, especially on the side of Cameroon, which has several times deployed cross-border invasion of Nigerian communities as a handy weapon. A few days ago, the same scenario played out after Cameroonian gendarmes or soldiers invaded Danari community in Cross River State. While the chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, Cletus Obun, joins us now to discuss this act of aggression and the renewed call for boundary delineation between Nigeria and Cameroon as mandated by the ICJ ruling. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
It's not a very angry mood.
Well, I can imagine how angry you are. So why do you think these border tensions, continue to occur decades after the International Court of Justice judgment on the Nigeria-Cameroon boundary? Who is to blame at this point?
The negligence of the Nigerian state on that corridor especially, and on the negligence of the military authorities. The Nigerian military have been known to be very vigilant and proactive. Why this borderline and this corridor of the international boundary has become a recurrent decimal in our international case, especially after the Bakassi, which was predictable, is very shocking and very annoying. As far back as October 2000, I was in Parliament and raised the motion that Cameroonians were invading and trying to annex parts of Nigeria. It was the same Danari I was talking about in October 2000. Shortly after the demarcation, as at that point I had predicted that with the oil deposits around the Bakassi Peninsula, at Tabong Town and especially Alusarede, we had agreed that there should be no further incursion into any inch of Nigeria, that Cameroon was trying to use Bakassi as a way of trying to shift its boundary northwards, towards the Obudukatu Ranch, Buki axis of that boundary line. But unfortunately, I was first invited by the military authorities to explain why I was raising a false alarm. They call it a false alarm when an Akwa Ibom indigene, an Imo State indigene, and 2 Boki indigenes were abducted and tried in a Cameroon court. And I had to, upon that raising of the question, the then governor of Cross River State, Nnamdi, mandated me to represent Nigeria in a preliminary meeting that took place in Bodam community that shared boundary with Danere. I went there on June 2nd of 2000. And by the time I returned from there, I had a road crash in which the Vanguard correspondent died in that accident and my driver. I survived that accident on my way to settle this matter in 2000. By 2002, when this judgment was given, I warned the Nigerian state that Cameroon was trying to annex parts of Nigeria and incur into Nigerian land. In 2013, a joint committee of defense, interior, army, and navy in the Nigerian Senate, led them by the then Senate leader, Senator Nnamdi, upon my raising of alarm, that there was an attempt to get into the demarcation process by the UN as vertical lines. They went horizontal into Nigeria, and then we insisted that they should look for Pillar 113A, the legendary Pillar 113. They had seen 113, 113A was missing. They saw 114. And rather than look at it, the pillar in between, they went 9.6 kilometers into Nigeria, into Biafra. And I raised the youth, and then we stopped them and brought the Nigerian military into the matter. And the Nigerian authorities, meeting with the Cameroon-Nigerian Mixed Commission, stopped the demarcation process. Nigeria and Cameroon agreed to stop the demarcation in 2013. How did Cameroon get into Nigeria in 2026? How did Nigeria allow Cameroon soldiers to come with guns into Nigerian territory, that level of invasion, into an innocent community? Yet there was a forwarding operation from the 3rd Brigade in Calabar in that area as we speak. What happened? Something is happening in between that the military has to inform us about.
So what immediate steps do you believe the federal government should take in response to this latest incident, and to prevent further future incursions into the territory?
Number one, first, the soldiers that are deployed to that area have left their primary duty, and I'm happy that the military authorities have intervened and gone to the place now. It is not enough, because this happens every time. They do a knee-jerk approach to it. What we need now is that the military base should be reinforced with more soldiers. The immigration officers are also there, and the demarcation that have been stopped. Nobody, the traditional boundaries that have been there until a further invasion, until further demarcation is done, no further attempt should be made. And the military presence there, because they now put themselves at become revenue points. Between Ormeka and Danere, there are more than 10 checkpoints by the soldiers who are supposed to be in that area. When these soldiers came to their camp, there were less than 3 soldiers in that place. This is not an allegation. We have video footages that at the point the youth were challenging the Cameroonian soldiers, there were no Nigerian soldier present. It took the Nigerian youth of that community, because we had already formed a vigilante in that area, to be on permanent surveillance from there since 1996, when we had the first invasion under Abacha. We have put our own vigilante there. They are the ones that confronted the soldiers and asked them not to go for that. If you watch the video footages, you will hear the youth shouting, "We will video you. This is our territory." That is between Bodam and Danere 1. Danere 2 and Dadi, Danere 1 and Dadi, and Danere 2 and Bodam are already at loggerheads. What I mean here is that the borderline between them is traditional. It has not been demarcated by UN. So they should maintain it. And the only people that can help them do it is this. The second thing is that the market, there should be a market, there should be a secondary school, and there should be those government presence, so that those people know that they are Nigerians and that the Cameroonians have a crisis with them. The Amazonian separatist movement is going on there. So they kept their soldiers there, who occasionally come into Nigeria, sometimes using drones and terrorizing the Nigerian border communities. The soldiers should be more stationed there and focus less on revenue. They are not revenue collectors. So they should leave the farmers alone so that they can cooperate with them to give them information.
Now, you talked about the military aspect, but I'm wondering how important is it for the federal government to engage with Cameroon diplomatically on this issue? Do you think that should also be on the table?
That is already on, except that the channels and the platforms that were created for that. I'm talking about the Nigerian Cameroon Mixed Commission. It's almost there. There's also the Border Communities Committee, which fraternizes and coordinates with the communities themselves so that intelligence is gathered from among the communities because they know themselves. These communities are traditionally, historically, and ancestrally connected. It was the 1961 plebiscite that divided them. Otherwise, they have the same ancestry, the same deities, the same shrines, and the same traditional occasions and events. New Year festival, football competitions, same secondary schools, same market. So they are basically not. It is the Cameroon authorities in an attempt to annex part of Nigeria that are now forcing these tensions using their soldiers. Our soldiers should be on ground, and diplomatically, the platforms created when the ICJ judgment was passed should come into play. And this stretches up to the Voodoo Cattle Run. This one is just one aspect of it. This area is very important to Cameroon because of the rich underground minerals that are in that place. That is what Cameroon is targeting. It is not just about land. So Nigeria must take deliberate steps. This is not happening in Seme-Border. This is not happening in the Chad borders with Katsina State. It's not happening in Gambarungala, in the northern of Garwa, with Cameroon in Borno State. Why is it happening in this particular area? Why is it recurrent? Nigeria must make us in Bokiland feel that we are part of Nigeria because the population of that place is more than Cape Verde, Sao Tome and Principe put together between Danere and Bumaji, between the ranch and Ormepang. That land and the population there is more than 2 West African countries put together. And the minerals there, that's the last African forest that you find in the whole of that area. So it is so rich in minerals and in forest and non-forest products that we need not look at it as if it is about the people and the land alone. But the territorial integrity and the economy of that place and the integrity of the people and the territorial integrity of Nigeria must be protected by the Nigerian state so that the people of Boki don't feel that they are not wanted. I'm not making the point, excuse me.
As we wrap up, I'm just wondering, you talked about what you did, when you were a lawmaker, but then I'm wondering, the lawmakers currently representing Cross River, what role should they be playing in pushing for federal action, very briefly?
Well, let me say this. This is the problem that the governor of Cross River State and the people of Cross River State notified. Who are their representatives? In all this, the first motion moved by the Federal House member representing Boki come today that led to a joint committee, ad hoc committees that were headed by Benny Lar, Representative Benny Lar, a ranking Federal House member that went to that direct. I was among the team as one of their consultants. And we got to the place. Thereafter, nothing has happened for 3 years now. That happened in 2024. This is 2026, nothing has happened. And no senator has made a comment on it. No federal house member has, has done it. No federal has said anything. Even as I speak now, what you hear is we condemn the act, full stop. No visitation, nothing to assure the community, except that now we are going to take action because the community, like I said in 2013, we went to the National Assembly. I led the delegation to the National Assembly of the Chiefs. Now we are going to go to the military authorities and work out a plan in which we engage ourselves in self-protection. Otherwise, we are going to get ourselves muddled up and one day find ourselves as Cameroonians, and next by sheer force, because force is a mode of acquiring territory. And Cameroon is trying to do that with the Boki communities. We shall resist it because we are Nigerians. We remain Nigerians and will continue to work so. The road to that place, even in Nigeria, have to move their troops there. They come up with the road when you hear no road, no election. It is that same road. No road, no election is on that same road. It's so impossible that if the troops have to mobilize by land, it will be a problem. We went there by a chopper provided by the Nigerian Air Force. Now, if you have to go to Danere, the bridges, the culverts are not even there. The facilities are not even there. So why is Nigeria taking this? Kizito Atta's governor had gone there on foot in 1990. This area is not just happening. It has been there. Cameroon has been trying to invade this place all along and annex it. And I think that Nigeria state will take more steps, more concrete steps, that will have to give assurance to these people and make the Cameroonians know that Nigeria will not yield another part of its territory after what happened in Bakassi. This is what I want to see happen. And we are going to engage as a community, the military authorities, the Nigerian authorities at the highest level to ensure that we are protected by the Nigerian state as guaranteed by the Constitution and several charters to which Nigeria is a signatory international charters on African and people's human and people's rights, on international charters of the United Nations, and all other such charters and instruments that protect us as a people. We will have to exploit and exploit all that so that we will not be one day finding ourselves as refugees in our own country.
Well, I really wish you all the best, and I hope that the Nigerian government is listening and will pay attention to your plight. Cletus Obon, APC Chieftain, thank you so much for joining us on Livestream.
This is one of the madness we are seeing. And the most annoying thing is that these people continue to embrace Nigeria, and you think Nigeria will protect you. This territory they are talking about that Cameroon is annexing is Nigeria that gave it to them. Bakassi. Region of Bakassi was given to the Cameroon because of Biafra. It is because of Biafra that they gave up Bakassi in order to allow use that area and Cameroon forces to block us. And today you see an idiot who claims to be a representative calling Nigeria, you are Nigerian, and you think that will save you. You don't know what you are doing. The only thing that will make these people in the border, in Bakassi area, to regain their land and be where they're supposed to be is when Biafra lives. Because there is never a time Biafra will exist in Nigeria and Cameroon will try that nonsense in Bakassi anymore. Bakassi cannot be acceded to any idiot. It doesn't matter who you are. Whatever contract they reach Nigeria will be null and void after Biafra exists. But the sad thing is that some idiots who are in that very territory today have failed to embrace the reality. They continue to follow their idiotic one Nigeria, thinking that that is going to save their life. But I bet you, the more you be in that your one Nigeria, the more your case will be worse. You think they're going to come for you? You haven't seen nothing yet. If Biafra does not exist, Cameroon is going to harness your village. Take it or leave it. Your cry cannot save you. Your noise cannot save you. After talking, you go home and you sleep. Why they will continue to do what they want to do? And then you can never, ever stop them. It doesn't matter how you try. You can't stop them. This is the hard truth that must be told. But unfortunately, the people who are involved continue to deceive themselves. Wherever you are, you must stand strong, rise up, and focus on defending your land. Biafra land must be defended by all means necessary. The land of Biafra must be defended. Let us listen to this message once again. I played it in the morning. Let me play this message again. The message has political tone. But as you are listening to this message, take the real message and allow the madness in it to go. The real message is in the first part of it, in the first stage of that message, where the youth are being called upon to defend our land.
My people, this is Igbo Youth Movement. They have a strong message to all the Nigerians. Igbo Youth Movement. Greetings all over the world. My name is Justice Ozobi. This is the Igbo Youth Movement. And we want to inform the general body, the entire Nigeria, about our stand in this country. First of all, concerning insecurity, we, the Igbo Youth Movement, comprises all the whole 5 states in Igbo land and across Igbo land, which is included Delta states, Edo, and River states. The people you are seeing here are the leaders of all local governments of Igbo Youth Movement, all leaders of all Igbo local governments. First of all, we want to talk about the insecurity in Igbo land. We are demanding that every youth in Igbo land should participate in their village security. It is very, very important that every youth in Igbo land should join their state and community security. Number 2, we want to tell the whole Nigerians concerning police brutality and extortion in Igbo land. We are also demanding for an end to police brutality and extortion
from Anambra State mostly, and Ebonyi State in particular, where we are having series of complaints about police brutality on our people, and we demand an end to it. We are calling on our governors, all the whole governors in Eastern region, to please put an end to this police brutality and extortion of our youth. Failing to do so, we are also going to write a petition to the IG of Police and also to the heads of House of Rep in Igbo land. Third, we will write petition to the heads of House of Rep and the rest. We are also demanding the right of our people in all the whole Nigeria, the right to vote. We are demanding the right for our people to vote. We are warning MC Oluomo and the rest, who always intimidate, harass our people, stopping them from participating in their own lawful rights. We are demanding an end to it. In this coming election, 2027, we are demanding an end to harassment. Any attempt to hinder the vote of our people, we will also retaliate from the East. We are not holding your people not to vote in peace. You must also allow our people to participate on their lawful rights in Nigeria. Last one, we are also demanding to know who is the head of SEDC, right? Yes. Southeast Development Committee. Commission. We are demanding to know who is in charge and what have they achieved in Igbo land since the organization was formed. We Igbo youth, we are demanding an accountability, or we will march down to their office, because the Nigerian government has provided for us something that is rightfully belongs to us, and we need an accountability for it. Failing to do so, we will march to the office. Have you not so? Like the leader of the Igbo Youth Movement also said concerning the South Development Commission. Please, Igbo, the person spearheading that commission is mad. He is not, he's our brother. So, but the problem here is that we saw a committee of senators comprising Senator Abalibe, Senator Juzokalo, and others, asking him to come and give account of 60 billion naira given to Igbo. In that committee, they were asking him how much is remaining in that 60 billion. He says 11 billion naira. Then all Juzokalo says it's a lie that he called CBN. But the one remaining is 13.something billion. And in that case, that he rented a one-room apartment in Abuja, 153 million. How can we be buying the Igbo land? No development, our mothers are buying, there's no good education, and the kind of this money was given to, because why did they create a Southeast Development Commission? Because people started agitating that we don't have, we are being neglected. So how can the money come? And their stories already. So we are telling the committee, we are now concerned in this case, and we heard that their office is going to. So will match that office. We're not getting anybody. We will demand for that money. It will not be like a political money. Your people. So every island coordinator come and inform your people. So all the Gallo and Babalibe and the rest of them, your committee should know that Igbo Youth Movement is also coming in. So that money is not for politicians. That investigation will not end for politicians. So that's it.
Well, for record purposes, I want to let you know that this is another fraudulent group. This Igbo nonsense movement, Igbo youth movement, is another department of Nnamdi in Adam. When you see them talk, this last aspect of talking about money, that is where they pour all their power and all their strength. The one that claimed to be a leader doesn't even know who is the head of the Southeast Commission. But the one that came at last mentioned the name. That alone shows you that they are not coordinated. They just came out to make noise so that they can get their own share from the money they had that was given to the to their so-called commission. A commission that has never worked any time. It has never worked. These are a bunch of idiots that are supposed to be joining the struggle and make sure that the Biafrans are restored. They won't. They are talking about Igbo youth movement, Igbo nonsense movement. Another set of criminals brought together to defraud. That is what they do. MAZI Nnamdi Kanu have said it. Anything you do with that name Igbo will never succeed. And it only takes somebody that has a common sense to look through all the organizations formed and put Igbo. It doesn't succeed. Look at this one. The energy they channeled on that money now, the Igbo whatever commission, is much more than the energy they channeled in this insecurity. Meanwhile, the real problem that we have is insecurity. They are supposed to focus more on insecurity on how to save life. Forget about the whatever nonsense Igbo commission, whatever that was formed. It is a fraud. Igbo Development Commission is a fraud. Everybody knows it's a fraud. Is it the same commission they formed in the north? It didn't work. They formed it in the southwest. The same thing in the Niger Delta area. The same thing. All the commission they formed in that country, did anyone work? Then how do you think it's your own that is going to work? This is how they take their energy, spend their energy on idiotic movement that doesn't make sense. I just played it for people to know what is going on. These are people that channel their energy and focus on how to be alive. How to be alive. That is the only problem that is facing the Igbo people today. How to be alive. How to save yourself from the hand of the terrorist. That is supposed to be the only thing about it. What? Not anything. Any other thing you bring it on board, election or whatever, voting, you are only digging your grave. That is why when you see them, they all have political tone. Sometimes when you see them speak, you think they care. Anybody you see coming to shout Igbo this, these are political lapdogs for politicians. Any group you see, anybody that you see coming to talk about Igbo this, Igbo that, Igbo as a political lapdog. This was the same thing Nneka was doing. Nneka came out, Igbo this, Igbo, oh, they don't kill Igbo people, oh, Igbo people must do this, oh, Igbo. Because we are too emotional. Every one of us, we embrace her. We emotionally embraced Lola Nneka. At the end of the day, Lola Nneka, she showed her color. Working for the government, destroying everything, causing confusion, all right, left and center. And when I see them, I remember the word of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, that anything you form and put Igbo is dead and arrival. Any organization you put Igbo is dead. That's why MAZI Nnamdi Kanu say he's a Biafra. Don't address him as Igbo, he's a Biafra. And he's fighting for Biafra. And that is why he will never stop. Don't attach him to your Igbo whatever nonsense. Is it not the same Igbo people that want to kill him today? Are they not the people today holding him and make sure he doesn't flee? Even when you saw a northerner, you saw the man's president. He's not an Igbo man, but he's going to Sokoto to visit MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. And he's begging you to please support MAZI Nnamdi Kanu and make sure that he's released. It is sad, but that is where we find ourselves. I pray that Chukwu Okike will fight this battle because only him can change the situation. Only Chukwu Okike. Nobody can change the situation we are in and the challenges that is facing all of us. Only Chukwu Okike will be it. I pray that Chukwu Okike fight the battle for us and make us overcome. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are watching from. I appreciate everyone that has participated on this very evening program. Like and share if you have not yet done so. And may Chukwu Okike guide and protect every one of you that participated on the program. May Chukwu Okike guide and protect our Supreme Leader MAZI Nnamdi Kanu and our Prime Minister MAZI Samari. See you again by the special grace of Chukwu Okike tomorrow morning. Stay blessed. Bye, everybody.
This is from Biafrans Got Talent. We are letting Biafrans know the reason why we should remember those who gave their lives for us, those who died that we may live.
You died to end my suffering. You died fighting for my freedom. Your blood is the seed of redemption. You are my inspiration.
The deed no wrong, but them military shots at them. 67 to 70, we remember them. 2016, 38 May, memory still lives in our mind till today. Wonder why they refuse to publicize the genocide. The world media turn blind eyes to our plight. It's time to arise, land of the rising sun. Let's rise one more time, let's rise.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipob massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Tell them I thought that day. Remember when me tell you say I thought that day. Yeah, I remember that one that called myself Bruce Mero. But the would you go like a papa nuku. But them they were boniro. Me tell you what I look pandi, what pandi samiro. Me tell you what I day. For me the fella that rasta man I tell you what I day. Me know that you come to tell them
I want to promise you something today. We must fight together. No retreat and no surrender. We must hold them down till the end of time. The most important thing is that we will restore Biafra. May your soul rest in peace.
I look up to the sky with tears in my eyes for other Biafrans and for freedom and to die. We will never forget you as the days go by. You are always in my heart, you'll never be apart. They fought for our freedom, they died for our freedom. They fought the Nigerian soldiers in the war front without food, without guns, for our freedom, for our life, for our own good, for our children. We love them, our heroes, we want them.
My heart bleeds when I saw them slain. Where will I be now if not then? They will remain indelible in my heart forever, 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 and ever, and ever, and ever.
We serve in your plantation, and the way you paid us back with your bloody starvation.
We play in our history that the death of my people is a mystery. No going back to get to a victory. I had a voice now call for vengeance. I never get bombed, I'ma blow like a vengeance.
Yo, we will never forget our fallen heroes. Those who gave their life for us. Onitsha massacre, Ipob massacre, Aba massacre. We remember you. Alright.
Where will I be now? If not you, you died at Mali.
They were starved to death because of our freedom, and they paid the debt for our freedom. Flag high for those that died in the genocide, fighting for you and I. There is pain in the heart, we bleeding inside, tears in the eyes, so I'm falling here.
This is for my fallen heroes. Give them motivation, people. It's like I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Cause we to be a cast, I need to be a nurse. If we did not retire,
They paid the ultimate price. They died for me, for the freedom of my unborn child.
march on, cause we are more than conquerors. Yeah.